What happens to your health insurance as a result of a divorce? Well, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman and Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues right here in the state of Michigan. And today we're going to continue our video series designed to educate and inform the public. So please subscribe to our channel. Well, you got to understand one thing. The court during the divorce is likely to order that all things be maintained, that the status quo be continued. And if that means you're covered under health insurance because you're a spouse of an insured, that's going to continue. The court is not going to let your soon-to-be ex discontinue health insurance during the divorce, thereby cutting off your coverage. They're not going to let them do that. However, you're going to lose your status as a covered spouse the day the divorce is finalized, which means you're going to be without health insurance. Now, the COBRA rules allow you to continue the health insurance even though the divorce is finalized for a period of up to 36 months. The issue, though, becomes who's paying the premium for that. Now, in some policies, the premium is small, particularly older policies, and it may be cost effective for you to pay the policy continuation yourself and maintain that coverage until you can get your own. However, I've seen COBRA policies on newer plans that are $1,400 a month. You can do better going out into the marketplace, getting your own health insurance for a lot cheaper than that. So you have to figure out what that premium is going to be and who's going to cover it. Because if you're going to cover it, you might do better off than just starting anew with a new policy. Maybe yes, maybe no. It may depend on whether or not what your status of your health is, whether or not you have some, conditions that are pre-existing and you may have to deal with that issue, but it's certainly something to look into. You have to understand that in order to enroll in a new plan, there is typically a qualifying life event requirement, but divorce is considered generally a qualifying life event. So you will be able to enroll in a new plan. Whatever plan you end up and whatever happens to you, remember, it doesn't necessarily impact the children. That is to say, the judgment of divorce will typically state who is required to keep the children insured. It may say that, the existing policy will continue to cover the children, or if both parties are getting new insurance, it may say, well, husband is obligated to cover the children on his policy, wife's obligated on her policy. If the court has its choice, the court will say that both parties should insure the kids. In other words, it's in the best interest of the children that there never be a gap in coverage. So if you can have an opportunity to have them both covered so that whatever one policy doesn't cover, the other one picks up on, the court will be a big fan of that. The court will want there to be no lapse in coverage as it relates to the children. That's a different story. If you have any questions about coverage as it relates to you, give us a call. We'll be glad to help you out.
248-588-3333. 248